Okay, everybody, I think we should be live now. I'm just going to double check really quick just to ensure that we are. We should be. Um, if we are not, then that's not good. Okay. Oh, sorry. I had the volume on. Okay, so we should be live now. What's going on, everybody? Calling all football fanatics. It's JP Football Fanatics, aka James, here with you once again. I know we definitely had some issues from the last time that we were doing the live stream with the mock drafts and everything like that, and I apologize. I was really hoping I would have been able to start right on time at 9 o'clock. I thought I had everything situated and ready to go, but unfortunately, you know how these things are. Sometimes they're not always the best in terms of really getting ready for live stream and everything. But 15, it's 9:18 now here. Um, but it's okay. We're still good. We're still managing good on time. So I do have my software stream, as you can see onto the top right hand corner. I do have Stage 10 live stream, the video streaming platform that I'm using through YouTube. So I definitely was able to use a little bit of that, be able to figure out all the small things like being able to share my screen or sharing different lower thirds too. So like when I do like my weekly picks and everything like that, then those kind of things will happen. But I'm definitely gonna, while we'll wait a couple more minutes, make sure everybody's on the stream, and hopefully, everybody will be able to come on and be able to watch. And if you want to, while you're waiting as well for those, those people to come on, make sure to subscribe on that subscribe button down below to the YouTube channel. And make sure you put a like on this video too. Also, be sure to drop a comment in the comments section down below. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know what you think of all the videos that I do on this channel, what I can do better on, what you like, what you don't like, what would you like me to do different. Your feedback is the most important to me, as I am the kind of person that I want to be able to make this channel grow. I want to make it even better than what it is right now. Like, as you can see, want to be able to have a better camera for my computer. I want to be able to have a better microphone that you can hear from. I mean, this microphone isn't terrible by any means, but at the same time, I like to build up and upgrade and keep this live stream keeping going for many years to come. So this is something that's really important to me, and all those things are really going to come a long way for this channel and for myself as well. So make sure you're doing all the things that you should be doing. So we'll wait another minute or so. We'll see if everyone's on the stream already. If not, then I'll go into a little bit of a discussion on as far as how the mock draft is going to go. So if you guys are in, for anybody that's in the chat right now, just drop a comment or let me know that you're on the stream. And if you want to ask any questions at this time, just leave comments or questions into the comments chat box right there, and I'll be able to answer some of your questions while we wait for more people to tune in. So thank you for those who are watching. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. I'm also posting on my my private Facebook as well for all my friends and family that are interested in tuning in tonight. I'm making sure that they know that I am live, and so that way, the more views that I can get, the better that I will be. So if you guys have any questions for me, just drop a comments. Drop it in the chat box. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Maybe if it's about your team, if it's about fantasy football, whatever it is you want to be able to discuss with me. Make sure that you guys are doing that. The more people I can get, the better. So we'll give it another 30 seconds. If not, then we're gonna get right into the live stream. We're gonna get into the fantasy draft. And also, while I'm waiting too, I'm going to plug in my computer just so that way I have enough battery in. Might be dropping some things here, sorry. But I want to make sure that I have enough battery in the computer so that way, there's no issues during the stream, unlike where I lose you guys or anything. So it's great to be here. I'll just add that right now. It's great to be here. There's no other place where I would rather be right now than to be right here with you guys, being able to talk football, be able to talk some live stream, talking fantasy football. We're like just about a week away from the NFL. No, I'm sorry, about 2 weeks away from the NFL season. I was thinking of a week away, but that's my fantasy draft for my league next week. But we're getting closer and closer to the season. I'm really excited for this season. I'm really hoping for the best in this one. It's going to be a really fun year. I think we got a lot of really good teams this year, and I'm just so excited about football. And what's even makes it more exciting about football is I'm also excited to be able to start a podcast here this year. Being able to talk to anybody that has any football interest or football knowledge. And I'm just so glad that I'm here with you guys tonight and being able to talk some fantasy football, give you some of my best advice for this year, given a person who won a fantasy league last year. I'm in 3 leagues this year. I'm in my own league that I started with a couple, some of my family members and, a close family friend of ours. And I'm also in 2 other leagues with friends that I started that I was in like last year, and one I just joined in this year. So I'm in 3 leagues this year. I'm going to be really busy with football. But it's going to be a really exciting time for football. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about fantasy. And, I think the best option for me, if you guys use Yahoo Sports like I use Yahoo Sports. I'm using 3 of my leagues in there this year. I think it's the best platform, in my opinion. I mean, I was going to join a friend's that was going to do a league on ESPN. I mean, that would have been a lot, but he wasn't able to get enough people, unfortunately, on ESPN. And I haven't really used any other platform besides Yahoo, but in my opinion, I thought the ESPN platform of it seemed a little bit more trickier than to use than the Yahoo. But that could be something that I could probably start up for next year, maybe, possibly, or maybe I could join another league that does ESPN, and maybe I can give it a try for next year. But so for tonight's live stream, we did this last week too. We're going to be doing Yahoo Sports. I just think it's an easier platform to use. I'm more comfortable with using it. And it's also easier to do some mock drafts as well. So if you guys are planning to play fantasy football this year, how many of you guys are planning to play fantasy this year? I know we don't have a lot of views on yet, but people, while you're waiting, tell those people, subscribe, drop a like on this video, drop a comment down below, subscribe. Definitely, the more people that we can get, the better. All right, what's up, Joe? Good to see you tonight. Good to see you tonight, sir. Thank you for checking in at 9:25. That's good. It's good to see you, brother. So we're going to be doing some mock drafts tonight. In case you were missing out, we're doing a mock draft tonight through Yahoo Sports. We should be able to share the screen this time. This will give you guys a better idea as far as who to draft, and being able to maybe look at some statistics a little bit. Maybe who are some people that you could draft this year, who are some people to avoid. I know last week we talked a little bit about it, but this time I'll be able to actually show you through the computer screen. So, I'm really excited about that. But without a further ado, I don't believe we're getting anybody else tonight. But that's okay. We're still good. But I think we're gonna get started now. And if you haven't already, just make sure that you drop a like on this video. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to tell your friends about this YouTube channel too. Have them subscribe. Drop a like button down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And give me some good feedback, guys. I really want to build this YouTube channel to be better than it already is. So, without a further ado, let's get rocking and rolling. So, let's see if I can do this right. Okay. I'm just also gonna look back a little bit on my streaming page just to ensure that it did share. Mine is a little bit delayed versus what you guys are getting. So I'm just gonna check that real quick because I want to make sure that it's sharing. Oh wait, here I gotta do that. There you go. A little pink button I gotta press if I'm gonna do live. So just give it a couple of seconds. I'll be with you in a second. All right, we got another view on. That's good. You know, keep telling people, guys, to tune in. Very important stuff. There we go. All right. Should be sharing the screen. I'm going to be monitoring a little bit of the chat box down below here. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get rocking and rolling. So as many of you guys do know, if you do play fantasy football, you do know that most fantasy leagues are usually about 8 to 10, 12. The maximum, I believe, is 14. I could be wrong, but I think that is the maximum of how many players you can have play in the league. But if that is not true, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll correct that. But I am pretty sure it is 14. So my league last year that I was in with my friend actually was in the we were in an 8-man league last year, and that's how I kind of ended up winning. I just ended up drafting really well. My one league that I'm in, the commissioner in this year is an 8-man team league, so which is nice, honestly, for starters, for some who haven't even played before. I know I have quite a few that haven't played before or is playing for the first time this year. So something to look at. But anywhere between 8 to 10, if you could, maybe even 12 too is always good too. But I'd say around 8 or 10 is a pretty good start, especially if you want to take fantasy football seriously. So we do have a bunch of drafts going on. We do have one that's a 14-man league and nobody's joining in. So we're going to join in on this league right here. I believe it's a 14-man league, so we're going to be doing that. So the draft is going to start in about 2 minutes 36 seconds. Yeah, we are. I'm really excited this year. This is going to be good. It's going to be good stuff that we're doing this year. Um, yeah, that's all I can really say on that. While we're waiting, guys, I know I'm gonna keep nagging you guys to do it. I really want to make sure we're getting more and more people on this stream. So without hesitation, tell your friends, family, girlfriends, boyfriends, nephews, nieces, whoever likes football, grandchildren. If you're a grandparent on here, good for you. If you guys do have anybody that is interested in football and are trying to find the perfect podcast person to listen to besides a Colin Cowherd or Shannon Sharp or like a Stephen A or something like that, hearing like the same old stuff, like, being biased on like one particular team or being biased on one, you know, being biased on one team, being biased on another, or hating on a player. You know what? This is the channel that is completely unbiased. We're completely unbiased, and we're here to support any team in the league as much as possible. So, without a further ado, anybody that wants any football content, NFL content, whatever you guys like, tell people, please, to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be sure to also drop a like on this video or any other video that you see on this channel that sparks your interest. And also be sure to please leave a comment down below on any of the videos that you find that are interesting. I want your feedback. Your feedback means the most important to me as far as trying to build this channel to be the best ever. That's just the way it is. I want it to be the best ever. I want to be able to be the best podcast speaker, football analysis, whatever you want to say. You know what? This is the YouTube channel. This is the start. This is where I want to be right now. I want to be right here as we start 30 seconds. I want to be right here, right now with you guys. There's no other place I'd rather be right now than talking football with you guys right here, right now, as we got 20 seconds left. Let's make sure we're getting more and more of those people coming in. The more people that we get, the better that we're going to be. And as we started about 10 seconds here, I'm going to be drafting second in this 14-man mock draft. So without a further ado, 3, 2, 1, 0. We are ready for the draft to now load. This might take a couple seconds, but no, this is important. We definitely want this, guys. I want to be able to explain. I want to be able to show content. I want to be able to show the most important things about this. So, we're getting started right here, right now. Okay. Okay, we're going to say allow for that one. Okay, so we're starting in a little over 2 minutes. 2 minutes 15 seconds we're going to be starting this. All right. Oh wait, here. Sorry guys. I got to fix this one quick second. Hold on. We still have some time. I apologize. I did not realize that I had to share another screen for this. I thought it would just been able to just drop right in, but that's not the case. Okay, we will get that started. I think we should be seeing this now. Okay. Still got a little bit of time. Hold on. All right. You guys should be able to see it now. We started about minute 15. Okay, so. All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, man. More people that we can get, the better that we are. All right. I had some people texting me. Probably. I'm gonna try to have, I'm gonna be able to try to my best to. Oh, here, hold on one second. There we go. Should be good. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to tell some people. My mom's also watching tonight too. At least she's trying to. She's not very tech savvy, by the way. Um, just saying that as a, you know, just saying that as being genuinely honest. She's not really a techie person, but that's okay. Sending her the link now, and if she's able to watch, great. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. I got to be able to get keep you guys busy. So, without further ado, we got 10 seconds left. We are starting. Starting with, we've got Jonathan Taylor, who is the top pick as our running back. All right, so he's probably going to be taken first. I'm going to project that he's going to be taken first, and he is. I also got to figure out. Don't have a whole lot of time, so you know what? Probably gonna draft Cooper Kupp for, or actually, you know what? Nope. You know what? If you were either gonna draft a wide receiver or running back, I think the best running back you should draft in this one, if Jonathan Taylor's taken, I would take Austin Eckler as one, or in other cases, there's nothing wrong with taking Cooper Kupp either if you're able to. So, never a bad thing. Okay, so all the players down here. Gotcha. Okay. So I was going to take Cooper Kupp. I was really anticipating to take Cooper Kupp, but I didn't. So now I'm looking at the receiver end of things here. So right now I have one player. I took Austin Eckler. That's a good choice. That's a real good choice, actually, to start off. So, yeah, I mean, typically in fantasy football, typically if you are drafting fantasy football too, if you haven't played before and you want to figure out like the drafting strategy, it's definitely important to think of, really study up on the running backs and being able to study on the wide receivers as well. Those things are definitely going to help you come a long way as well. When you do that, in this case here, if you're drafted number 2, you get any pick that you want. And typically, really, Jonathan Taylor should be the number 1 running back this year in the league. I think you guys are, if you're in a fantasy league, you're going to really want to draft him. I think he's going to him, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, and probably there's another one too, Christian McCaffrey, a healthy Christian McCaffrey, though. So I want you guys to keep that in the back of your minds, too. I want you to really keep him in the back of your minds about a healthy Christian McCaffrey. He is very valuable in fantasy football. No question about it. But he's got to stay healthy this year. This might be really one of his last years. If he does not stay healthy another year, he might be a fantasy bust. And I don't mean that to put him down or anything because he's one of the best running backs in the league when healthy. But if he gets injured again, this is serious for him because that might affect him in terms of like playing being able to play full time if he's getting hurt all the time, and even for fantasy draft people. Fortunately, in my case, I did not have him last year. I had Jonathan Taylor instead, and um, last year out of 8 teams, I was the seventh one to pick, and I drafted Jonathan Taylor because it was either him or Aaron Jones from the Packers. So I wasn't really that crazy for Aaron Jones, so I figured give that Jonathan Taylor guy a run because I think the Colts were a good team, and they just kind of fell apart in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, which was a shame because they could have been considered a dark horse that could have gone pretty far this year, and even this year I think they're going to go even further now with Matt Ryan, which is possible. So Jonathan Taylor will be a good one. Austin Eckler, I would definitely consider drafting him if you're able to. Christian McCaffrey, a healthy one. There's even some good backups too, but we'll talk a little bit more about the backups as soon as I get to drafting 2 receivers and even maybe even a quarterback too. So for now, we're gonna start off with we're gonna do receivers next. So I haven't really seen any other takers yet. I know Aaron Jones was just taken. Okay, so Travis Kelce was taken in the second round, which is I'm kind of surprised. Mike Evans was. I had Mike Evans last year. Mike Evans was he was kind of inconsistent a little bit, but when I needed him to come through, he actually did come through quite well for me. So that's something to consider. So I mean, I still have about 6 picks left. Well, 30 seconds now, so it's now down to 5 picks. So the wide receivers I'm left with is Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, and as I say, that Hill is just taken. So there's Pittman, Higgins, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. That's still pretty talented. AJ Brown, Mike Williams, Allen Robinson. I mean, those are some of the guys I would probably focus on. Michael Pittman. See, the problem with him, he had some good games last year. When he was good in fantasy, he could be really good. But the problem really depends on the quarterback play. Last year they had Carson Wentz, and they kind of used Carson Wentz as more of like a decoy for teams. So like being able to just use him like kind of like how the Titans used Derrick Henry in a way, and Ryan Tannehill, how they limit Ryan Tannehill. That's what they did really with Carson Wentz last year. And Michael Pittman, while he was the best receiver on the team, and I think he still is really, I'm not sure how many touches he's really going to get this year. So I probably would stick with Michael Pittman's. So there's either T. Higgins, DJ Moore, uh, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen. I'm going to take T. Higgins. I'm going to take T. Higgins. I don't think that's a bad choice, honestly. I think T. Higgins might actually have a good comeback year this year. He did actually do really well later on in the season last year. I think he put up like one game. I can't remember which game it was where he got like over 180 yards receiving or something like that, and he had a crazy amount. I had him on my team. I dropped him because he just wasn't really doing anything for me earlier in the season. So, but he's projected to have a pretty good year this year. So, I would probably definitely keep an eye on him now, even though he is questionable. As you can see, it says right here the little Q. You might be asking what that is. So he is questionable. But I think according to what I've heard in recent, articles and sources I've seen, I don't think it's really a serious injury for him to really worry about, which is good. So I could either go, now it's my turn. So I could go either quarterback now, get Josh Allen, or I could go for a wide receiver still. Quarterbacks, there are some quarterbacks that are going to be very valuable this year, but you definitely want to take advantage of the receiving end as well. So I think I'm going to take Mike Williams. As much as Keenan Allen might be better this year than he was a year ago, I still kind of like Mike Williams in terms of I like using him for like the flex. I could use him in my flex. if I wanted to. So I think I'm going to take him over Keenan Allen, which might be a surprise to some people, but I'm not really sure how much time really Keenan Allen does have left. I mean, he is a little older now, so it's, and Mike Williams, I'm not even sure how old Mike Williams is. I don't even know how old Keenan Allen is. I mean, Keenan Allen is 30 years old now, so he is getting a little older. That's something to keep in mind into when you are drafting these players, is really keeping the mind of their age. So there's 3 years difference between Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Mike Williams is 3 years younger. But there's still, I mean, you still want to be able to, keep that in the back of your mind too, as far as, you know, how old they are, and just being able to see like the quarterback who they trust more. I think last year Mike Williams was more successful, just a little bit more than Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had some moments last year, but he wasn't really anything in particular to really write home about. So, that's definitely one to skip to. So, next one is the quarterback. Now, so Josh Allen was already taken. He would definitely have been the best quarterback choice to get. But you still have some good players. I think Lamar Jackson is someone you definitely want to keep an eye on, despite not really having any receivers to throw the ball to. But the reason why I'm saying he could be valuable in fantasy this year again is mostly because of his rushing yards and his rushing touchdowns that he does get. He does usually is projected to get a lot. So we'll take a look at, I'm not sure where he's at. I just saw him. Couldn't have been taken already. I don't think he was. No. Don't know where in the world happened to him, but Lamar Jackson, we'll take a look at him. I don't know why that happened. Really don't know why that happened, but oh well. So Lamar, here he is right here. So Lamar last year, I thought he had more rushing touchdowns than that. It felt like it, but last year was one of his weaker years, and I think last year the reason why that really was because his team fell apart on him, which is that definitely does happen when your team does fall apart and you don't have a whole lot of depth in you. Um, so last year was a bit of a rougher year for him. I don't think it's really gonna be. I think it will be better, but I don't think he's gonna be like really as good as he's been in years past. But he's still very valuable in terms of rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. So he should stay healthier. I think the offensive line did get better, so that's a plus too to think about. His receivers are very questionable. I don't know how Duvernay, some of those names, I don't really know a whole lot about them, but he's kind of one to keep an eye on. Justin Herbert, if you could get Justin Herbert, um, yeah, he would actually be a beast this year. He probably could even be top 2 next year. So we're getting down to the wire. We're starting to we're going down to the wire. I have about 6 picks before it's my turn, so I got to go for a quarterback now. But I don't like how they did this. I really don't like how that happened. How they just all of a sudden came alphabetical order. I don't like that at all. So, and I'm not happy about that. But hey, if honestly, if no one takes Justin Herbert, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him. There's no reason why I shouldn't take him. If he's not taken in the next 2 picks, I'm taking him. Or another one that you really could look into too is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow could be another really good fantasy quarterback this year, even starter. So like him, I would look into Jalen Hurts too. Jalen Hurts definitely did have some consistency in football last year, so he could be one. I like the way he played last year a little bit. Not the best passer per se, but and that's good. I'll take Justin Herbert. So now I gotta go for another. I think I'm gonna go for another running back. But now I gotta see how many people I have left because Because this whole thing was messed up. Oh, Miles Sanders. Wait, was it my turn? Who they draft? Antonio Gibson? Let's go. I'll take that. I will definitely take Antonio Gibson. Absolutely. That they did that on their own. That happened on their own. I would definitely take Antonio Gibson. No doubt. Love that pick. Awesome. So lucky that that happened. Was not expecting that to happen. I thought they were going to give me um some crazy thing. I'm still a little upset though. It's okay. Might be able to figure it out, but I am still a little upset with the way that oh, I could turn this to dark. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, definitely is better. I'm gonna turn off the sound a little bit. I think that's kind of distracting me a little bit. Let's see. Lamar will just have enough receiver talent to push the Ravens back into serious contention. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know per se. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky with him. I think I think he can make the team look good. But the questions really just revolve around like, and I don't really have any questions about their coaching. I think they have one of the best coaching in the league, and I don't think Lamar is the problem. I think a lot of the problem really is more on the receiving end of things. Like, are those receivers really going to be able to step up and be able to play? You know what I mean? I mean that's just something to really think about. So now next I got to go for a tight end. Stay away from Miles Sanders. Worst pick in my draft last year. Yeah, yeah. I didn't have him last year. He might be poised to have a better year. Could be wrong. Could be wrong, but I think he's gonna have a better year personally. So even if you have to pick him as like a backup, that wouldn't be the worst idea. To put him on your bench and you could use him when you have one of your or you could even really use him as a flex too. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. Those are just some things to really think about. So the next tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league that's available still is Dallas Goedert. I think um, after they released Zach Ertz and then he went to Arizona, Zach Ertz is not going to really be anything special this year. I don't really like the Cardinals that much, if I'm being honest with you, this year. So that's something to kind of really keep in mind of. So I got 2 picks left, or even actually, you know what? I do like Dallas Goedert, but I also like T.J. Hawkinson. I think T.J. Hawkinson could actually be pretty solid this year for the Lions. He might be one of the only few players, honestly, that could actually have a good fantasy year besides what you might call it, DeAndre Swift. All right, so now it's my draft. So I got to go either Dallas Goedert or I got to go T.J. Hawkinson. Uh, yeah, I think I'll go Dallas Goddard actually. I mean, I think TJ Hawkinson's the future, but and it's already my turn to pick. All right, so receivers. Let's see if Gabriel Davis is still around, and he is. Nope, Gabriel Davis is gone. Let's see, is Darnell Mooney still around? Nope, he's gone too. Let's see, who do I have? Mari Cooper, Christian Kirk. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to go Amari Cooper. Oh, you know what? I could have waited. I could have gotten Hunter Renfro. Well, I don't think he'll be taken right away. Hopefully not. I like Hunter Renfrow a lot. I can't really say too much about Drake London because this is his first year in the league, so I really can't. I can't really say whether or not he's a good pick. But Hunter Renfrow, if you want anybody, if you can't get like a Gabriel Davis, or you can't get Gabriel Davis or Darnell Mooney from the Bears, or some of those like receivers that are going to be like top notch. Hunter Renfrow, definitely, definitely, definitely draft. I had him last year. I picked him up in free agency last year, and he was one of the best free agency picks that I picked up on last year. That's how good that he was at the end of the season. He was averaging anywhere between 15, 20, sometimes even 30 points a game for fantasy, and that was just unbelievable. So I'm gonna put a star by him. Hopefully he's not taken, but I mean I have 17 picks to go before it's my turn, so I really wouldn't doubt it too much if he was already taken. Well, it was either him, Kadarius Toney, who I do like, by the way. I do like Kadarius Toney. Christian Kirk, I'm not a big fan of. Drake London, I can't say anything about Drake London yet until he starts playing. Who's going to throw to Amari for the first 11 weeks? I mean, Jacoby Brissett. I think that's probably. I think the Browns, what they'll end up being like. You know who the Browns are going to remind me of this year? They kind of remind me a little bit more of last year's Ravens team, a little bit after Lamar Jackson left. I mean, not that it was the backup's fault of how he was playing, because he actually played quite well. But I think, in my opinion, though, Jacoby Brissett's only good receiver to really throw to or depend on, and who's going to get a lot of targets is going to be Amari Cooper. So they kind of remind me of in that aspect a little bit. Kadarius Toney, yep. So Hunter Renfro's gone. Darn it! I was hoping I would have gotten him, but there's not much I can do about that. Don't know why it's in ABC order. I'm still mad about that, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. Definitely would have gotten Kirk or Renfro is who I would have one with there, but Cooper's a decent pick. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not upset about Amari Cooper, but Hunter Renfro definitely, definitely don't mess up like I did, um, and somehow magically get this into alphabetical order, because it's really driving me nuts now. But I mean, no, Amari's not bad. Kirk, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how he does this year. He might surprise some people. But I'm not expecting a whole lot out of him. Next, I'm gonna go. I think the next draft I gotta go with defense next. So, not a lot of people take the defense usually right away, but I think, I mean, some defenses. I think the Ravens' defense is something to keep an eye on. That actually could do some damage in fantasy this year. That's something to keep an eye on. Or there's some other ones too. Excuse me, sorry, I had to sneeze right there. Baltimore is one to take. Cincinnati could be an underrated defense. Not sure how consistent they're going to be in fantasy, but honestly, with defense, you don't really need to worry that much about. With defenses, when you're doing defenses, you don't really need to worry about picking the most true one. How I did it last year is I picked a defense in the league. I kept them for several weeks or so. I had the Broncos, I think, to start off with. I did. It wasn't the greatest defense last year, but um, not terrible though. But Cincinnati, Baltimore would be good to get. Uh, the Broncos defense actually could be a good. I mean, they weren't terrible as a fantasy defense last year, so they could do something. Green Bay actually didn't do so bad towards the end of the year. The Colts, the Chiefs, the Chargers is a little. Don't know if I would really worry about taking the Chargers defense. I think they'll be definitely vastly improved, but not I don't know. I mean, I think the first couple of weeks are going to struggle a little bit with that defense and getting everybody together, but you never know. They could turn around and do well the first few weeks of the season. I think they gotta play the Raiders first, so that'll be hard for them. So it's my turn to draft. I'm gonna take the Ravens defense. I think that's the best defense really to take right now. So I'm gonna do that, and now it's my turn again. I guess I could go flex. Not a lot of them I do like here. So Cedric Wilson, can I go Cedric Wilson? Well, they better. I guess they'll just let it draft for me. So we'll see what they take for me. All right, so they gave me a kicker, Carlson, Daniel Carlson. Okay, I can afford that, I guess. Just gonna find it. All right. Oh, all right. So I could probably go for. All right. I think I got it figured out now. All right, good. I was getting very worried. I didn't think I was gonna be able to fix it again, but so I'm gonna read off. I have 9 out of the 15 players that I want. So not terrible, but definitely not the greatest. So I have Justin Herbert, T Higgins, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Dallas Goddard, Mari Cooper, Daniel Carlson, and I have the Ravens defense. So that's actually not a terrible starting lineup. But now I gotta really make up for it now for because I have Herbert, Williams, and Eckler. They're all gonna be off on week 8. So that's gonna probably be a little bit of a problem if I can't find anybody that I think could, you know, maybe not match up as well, but I definitely need players that I feel safe and comfortable with starting for that week. So quarterbacks. Ooh, is Isaiah McKenzie? Nah, I don't know if Isaiah McKenzie would be the one to pick. I got to pick another receiver. I got to pick a consistent receiver. Chase Claypool. I had Chase Claypool earlier in the year. I drafted him in fantasy because I thought he would have had a good year. And not that he had a bad year, but fantasy wise, I wouldn't really worry about getting him too much. Sammy Watkins, no, I wouldn't get him. Kenny Galladay actually um, wouldn't be a bad choice if you were desperate and you needed somebody. I mean, Kenny Galladay probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but you got to definitely show with Kenny Galladay, if you're going to draft him, you definitely got to really hope and pray that he does stay healthy the whole year because he has not been healthy in quite a while. Michael Gallup is hurt right now. Josh Palmer for the Chargers. I don't know much. I don't really know a whole lot about him. So Tyler Lockett or Claypool. Yeah, if Lockett, I believe Lockett was already taken. I might check and see. I think he is taken already. Yep, he was already taken. So, but yeah, Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. Those are two receivers to look into. All right, now it's my turn to. Do I really want Claypool though? Tyler Boyd, Kenny Galladay. Devin Duvernay. Yeah, I might actually have no choice but to. Who was it? Um, yeah, we're just gonna go Claypool. We're gonna have to go with Claypool. I think that's really my only choice. Traylon Burks is a rookie this year, so not really sure how he's going to do. And I'm already drafting again. That's the problem when you're in the second draft. You know what? I think Devontae Parker is Devontae Parker still there? I'm going to take Devontae Parker. I think Devontae Parker was good enough last year from with the what do you call it with the Dolphins. So he actually could be a good thing for what you call it for Mac Jones. He could be. I think honestly, he might actually be their best receiver on that Patriots team. That Patriots team, while I still think they're going to be a sneaky, good enough team to get you through and everything. Um, but I definitely like Devontae Parker. I think he's better. I think he's way better than Jacoby Myers. And it's kind of a toss up between him and Kendrick Bourne. So, but I think Devontae Parker. That's a good choice. I think that would be something to go forth with. He might be really the only one pick. So now I can go. I think I'm going to go another tight end. I got to go for another tight end. So the best one still is Mike Gesicki, which could be the best one. Irv Smith. I forgot about Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry could be a pretty decent backup tight end. Tyler Higbee, who's still good, very good. I think he could be good. Uh, Austin Hooper, not a bad tight end. It might be really the only kind of person I think Ryan Tannehill will throw to this year. He just got traded to the Titans this year. I believe he was with the Browns last year. Didn't hear a whole lot about him. Robert Tunyon, not a fan of him for fantasy wise. So Logan Thomas had him, dropped him as soon as he got hurt, and he was not coming back the rest of the year. Wouldn't worry. I definitely wouldn't draft him. Noah Fant, he's a good, decent tight end. But the problem is, I don't know how Drew Lock. I don't think him and Drew Lock really connect very well. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I'm gonna if Gesicki's still there, he's gonna go. I'm gonna keep an eye on Gesicki. I'm gonna keep an eye on Hunter Henry. I believe Hunter Henry was just taken. He was. Tyler Higbee would be one. Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper's gone now. Um, yep, and so is Mike Gesicki. So I might have to. I might either have to go Austin Hooper. I might have to go Robert Tunyon. I mean, I think those are really like the last two hope of tight ends that I could go for. So that's something to be, something to consider. Still got about 6 picks left to go before my turn is next. So yeah, might have to go Austin Hooper, which wouldn't be a bad backup choice, honestly. So yeah, well, nope, he was just taken. So okay, Robert Tunyon it is. I'm not crazy for him, but hey, but it could be a lot worse. So it's my turn to draft again. So that kind of works out good. I'm gonna go quarterback. I think for this one, I think it's the best for me to go for a quarterback because I think I'm already outmaxed. It's not really any good. Um, Go Jameis Winston, I guess, as a backup. I need another solid back, and there's not really many solid backs left. Actually, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram could be a decent one, especially if Alvin Kamara is going to get suspended. If Alvin Kamara is going to get suspended this year, for some time, I think Mark Ingram would be a pretty good, uh, you know, someone to back up Kamara. But I definitely do. Definitely do like the Devontae Parker pick. I think that's a good pick for a backup at least. And Claypool, I'm not crazy about Claypool, but this could be a good year for him. You never really know. So now I got to come up with a good Marlon Mack. I don't know. I mean, the problem with you know what it is. The problem with all these teams and these players when you go to draft them, yeah, you can definitely go based off of what they did a year ago in fantasy and how effective they really were. But the tricky part is you never really know as far as like who's going to break out this year and who's not. So that's kind of one to really, definitely consider when you are drafting in your fantasy leagues. I mean, that's just something to keep in mind of. I mean, some of these names right here, like the last few, like who do we have really that's left that's valuable? Like Ronald Jones. Is Ronald Jones going to really do anything for Kansas City this year? Or this Isaiah Spiller for the Chargers? Never heard of him before. He might be even a rookie. I think he's a rookie this year because he doesn't have anything from last year. Gus Edwards, who isn't a bad back, but he's hurt again, so that's not a good one to take. Marlon Mack wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess, but I don't know. There's not a lot that I like about the Texans this year, so don't even know anything about Chris Evans. Mark Ingram would be the best. Honestly, in my opinion, Mark Ingram or Marlon Mack would be the best backup running backs to get. So I'd probably no. Yeah, I'm gonna go Marlon Mack. I think just feel more comfortable with him because I don't really know how long. I probably could pick up Ingram later, so I just need a couple more. Actually, I just really need one more. So any more tight ends? No kickers that I want. Actually, nope. Go kicker. I'll go Chris Boswell as my backup kicker. Hopefully, I didn't mess that one up. No, I didn't. Okay. So he'll be good enough to get through. So my team's all full now. I think we still have a long ways to go before it's done, but we'll wait until the end and see what we've got. So while you guys are waiting for the results to come back, just make sure you guys do me a solid because this is really going to help this channel grow. If you're able to, able to assist me and my channel, be sure to drop a like button down below on this video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you think about, my fantasy draft picks. Did you like them? Did you not like them? What could I have done differently to explain things a little bit more? Be able to subscribe to this channel. Let me know, tell your friends, family, anybody that's interested in football. This is the most important thing for me to be able to, I want to be able to subscribe. I want you to be able to subscribe. Sorry, I can't speak. Subscribe to this channel, with their favorite NFL content. Let me know what you guys think. Tell your friends and family. Anybody that's a football fan, tell them about this channel. I'm telling you, we are one of the best around. So please spread the word around. Tell people about me. Tell them what you like. Tell them maybe what you don't like, but you would like to see changed in the future. Um, Anything that you can think of. It's all unbiased, all everything. It's everything that you want to be able to hear from the team. So, yep, that's all I got from that. So we got about 10 minutes until the draft is completed. That will be probably around the time that the email will come out to me as far as, the results and how I did and everything. So I'm just going to read off the list one more time just so that way everybody is aware of who I've drafted. So far I've drafted, so far, who did I draft? I drafted Justin Herbert, T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, which was the best pick of the draft in my opinion. Antonio Gibson, Dallas Goedert, Amari Cooper, Daniel Carlson, the Ravens defense, definitely top notch one. Claypool, Chase Claypool, Devontae Parker, Robert Tonyan, Jameis Winston, Marlon Mack, and the backup kicker Chris Boswell. I can always get a kicker anytime, but um, just was running out of ideas of who to get. There really wasn't a whole lot left over as far as decent receivers or anything good in that matter. Like Michael Gallup probably would have been a good one, but he's not playing right now. He's injured, so we don't really know about him, or I don't really know anything about Josh Palmer. So definitely not a lot of definitely not a terrible draft for sure for a 14-man league. Definitely not terrible, but definitely not as good as it was the last time. But I definitely really like the my starting team. And then the only backup I kind of really do like is Devontae Parker. I don't really like any of the other picks, but it is what it is. It's the way you got to do it. It is what it is. What are you going to do? We got about 8 minutes left. You know, sorry, I'm reading your comment now. Yeah, I definitely do have the four receivers. I have T. Higgins, Mike Williams. I actually probably even have more than that. Mari Cooper, that's one. So I have Chase Claypool and Devontae Parker. So I have five receivers, and the three running backs. Marlon Mack definitely wasn't a good backup pick per se, but you're kind of stuck with him if you need to. So uh, yeah, I could see why you would want to come up with another tight end, but the problem with tight ends, and this is just something to keep in mind too. Sometimes with tight ends, they're not the most targeted. They're definitely not the most targeted players in the league, unless if you're a Travis Kelsey or Mark Andrews, like where you're going to be able to, if you're a big tight end and you're able to make blocks and be able to run down the field and be able to make plays and be able to catch the ball. Those are, tight ends are kind of iffy because sometimes you're either going to use them as a passer, as a receiver, or you're going to use them on the offensive line to be able to block for the quarterback. So tight ends are a little tricky. I can see where you're coming from, Joe, as far as going for another tight end. That wouldn't have been a terrible idea per se, but tight ends definitely for me are not really um, they're not the most valuable players. I think if you're talking the most valuable is definitely running backs and wide receivers. I think honestly, you could even make a logical argument. But you could make a logical argument about this when I say this, but I think I'm gonna project this year for probably three of my leagues, maybe even more. I could be wrong. We'll see. But I do feel like some of the top notch receivers are going to be taken in the first round, like real early in the first round. Like I could definitely see for anybody that's like a number one pick, they're going to pick between Jonathan Taylor and a Cooper Cup. That's going to be extremely difficult for teams to be able to pick that. But I think receivers, you're going to see a lot of receivers being taken in the early first round, I believe. Probably more so than running backs. I could be wrong. But I think when you're looking at it this way, um, there are still some running teams, like the Colts are going to be a running team again, the Titans. But nowadays, this is a league where it's pass, 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 pass. And, everybody nowadays goes heavy on a wide receiver. So, and what we saw last year, like some of the top notch receivers were like a Cooper Cup, Jamar Chase was very explosive in some games. You had Justin Jefferson, who's going to be poised to have, he probably could even be the number one receiver next year for fantasy. You could also make arguments of, Mike Evans being somewhere up there now. because he's so targeted in the red zone. Like you want to be able to look at wide receivers, and you want to compare. You want to be able to compare some of the statistics to last year, but at the same time, you want to be able to like think in your mind. So like because of these stats right here, are they going to be able to improve on that, or are they going to be able to match up to their expectations from last year? Those are just things to really think about. Like I think, or the ones that like a Gabriel Davis, Mike Williams, the ones who just all of a sudden just came out of the blue and were explosive a year ago. Like those are things to really think about when you are doing your fantasy draft with that. But definitely take those in consideration. And if you're going to draft a running back, you definitely want to have. I would probably say, in my opinion, and I did this last year. I did a quarterback in the third round, which is typically what you would do in fantasy. In fantasy, you do a running back, a wide receiver, maybe another wide receiver, and a quarterback would come in the third or fourth round. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but then you want to be able to get a solid running back as quickly as possible, depending on how big your league is and where your draft is. So, I mean, those are definitely things to really think about. I had someone ask me the other day, if you draft ninth in a 12-man league, who would you take? I mean, that really does depend. And I'm assuming that's going to be the first round. I'm assuming he's talking about the first round. I still haven't come up with the answer for him yet, but if he's watching this right now, which I probably he's not, I doubt it, but if he is watching this right now, um, at that point, I would think a lot of the top-notch running backs will be taken. So I would probably definitely go somewhere with the receivers, this receiving end maybe. It's a little tough. I mean, if you're some that might be projected by that time when you get to the ninth pick might be like Leonard Fournette might be still there. And honestly, not for nothing, I think Leonard Fournette could actually be the best in flex. So I'm actually hoping that I might have that opportunity to get him in flex. That would be something that would be pretty valuable that Brady likes. There's something that he likes about him. And I like Leonard Fournette too because he's not just like a running back like a Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor. You can use Leonard Fournette as your receiver. You can use him as your running back when you need it. You can ask him to make blocks if you have to. So there's some value to Leonard Fournette where I think he might be poised to have another good year this year like he did last year. And a lot of teams are saying like the Bucs usually don't run. They don't usually run the ball a lot, but I think last year they ran the ball more than they did the year before with when Brady got there, because I think the thing about the Bucs is that they don't want to just rely heavily on just the receiving end, because as good as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are, they both are injury prone. So they kind of have to rely on another playmaker, and Leonard Fournette definitely was a playmaker for them last year, especially like that second half of the season. So I would probably go with like I probably would go running back, but I think Leonard Fournette is best in your flex, in my opinion. For if you are in a 12-man league and you are drafted ninth, I probably would focus on Leonard Fournette and just see like who receivers are left in your league. Like Mike Evans would probably be there still at that time. CeeDee Lamb could be definitely something real special this year for the Cowboys. So something to think about. We'll see. We got 40 seconds left. Just gonna look at the comments yet again. I think you can get a decent quarterback in the fourth or fifth round. Yeah, I mean, I think this year you definitely want to. I 100% agree with that. I think you definitely want to scoop up as many of the good skill players as possible, because they are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of teams this year, like receivers, like I was saying before. The receiver ends are definitely going to be taken very early in the first 3 rounds this year. I can guarantee you, and I can see receivers like Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. I could see them just being taken real early, just like that. Okay, so they stopped that. So they just closed the draft. So now, let's stop sharing my screen real quick. I'm going to go back to my other screen here so that way everybody can see me good enough now. So I'm going to look at my email here just to see how I did in terms of draft. I'm not expecting to do very well, in my opinion, um, which wouldn't be something I would be hoping for, but it is what it is. I've done a lot of these mock drafts this year, so yeah. Sorry, my computer is running a little bit slow. Okay, so I just got it. Okay. So I will share my screen with everybody real quick. You just got to give me 1 second. And I will share with you all what I've got. Okay, can everyone see this? Okay, so my overall grade for. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. I don't think this is showing. Is it? No, it's not. Okay. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this software, so just bear with me. Okay, I think you guys should be able to see it now, as I can see it on my screen. So, overall, my mock draft grade is a C. Is that terrible? No, definitely not terrible. There were definitely some good picks. Like I think some of the best ones was like Austin Eckler, taking him early, something very valuable to take. T. Higgins obviously was another one to really consider taking. There were definitely some good ones that I got in the draft, but at the same time, I mean, I definitely could have done a lot better. I think if if I didn't, if I would have gotten Hunter Renfrow, that probably would have not have messed up my whole strategy a little bit. But Mari Cooper, he might surprise some people. He might surprise some people in terms of where Jacoby Brissett might have to rely on him almost every game, especially if Kareem Hunt, who's getting a little bit older, and Nick Chubb, who is getting a little older too. Not that they're the best duo running backs in the league, because they are. They have one of the best running games in the league, but they're also older too, and they're both kind of injury prone. So it could be a shot in the first 11 weeks of the season where Amari Cooper might go off, but definitely not something that I would have done. I definitely would have taken Hunter Renfrow over that any day. But I like my Ravens defense. I think that's a solid choice, especially when it comes to the first few games. I think that's good. Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, definitely not the best draft. Definitely wasn't as good as it was the other day, but it's a 14-man league. What do you really expect? I guess you could say you don't really expect a whole lot when you're in a 14-man league, and you gotta go with what's left over. So it's kind of hard that way. So who knows? When it comes to draft time, like for example, when I have to draft next week, in my own league that I'm the commissioner of, or next Sunday and Monday when I have to draft in my friends' leagues as well. Those are things to definitely consider. Definitely not messing up again. But overall, I'm not completely satisfied with this grade. I think if you're gonna definitely draft, you definitely want to do better than you definitely want to do better than let's see, you definitely want to do better than I did and be able to study on your players. So, definitely when you are, I'm going to stop sharing my screen actually. So, when you are doing this, you have to really make sure when you are drafting players, like really do your homework on these players here because they may have been good last year, absolutely, but I want you to be able to focus on something like more terms of like rewatch some of the games last year. That might sound a little corny because I know a lot of people don't like to rewatch games. I get it because there's no really excitement to them that much anymore after that. But rewatch some of those old games from last year. Pay close attention to those players that you were thinking of drafting this year, and just kind of apply it to your best knowledge. Kind of do a little bit of homework on it, like your analytics on these teams. I think that's really going to help you the best. in doing that. Might sound corny, but I think that's the only way they're really going to have that much success in fantasy if you're able to do that. Um, I mean, there's definitely times you definitely want to avoid some players. Like I think, like in the quarterback realm, I mean, there's some that I would probably avoid this year, just because I think last year was kind of a downfall year for them, and this year with like, some receivers getting traded away. Like I know Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams in the offseason, and Patrick Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill, who's his best receiver. It's tough, but at the same time, you definitely want to pay attention to that, because that could make or break your season. And you also got to watch the injury statuses too when you're doing fantasy, because they could actually pop up. Some of them might pop up, and they should pop up right away and say questionable or out for the season or physically unable to play, and those kind of small things. So those are things to think about when you are drafting your players. So, is there any other questions? We're at almost the 10:30 mark, so we've gone a little over. Definitely gone over an hour, almost an hour and 15 minutes. So, is there anything that anybody wants to say? If you guys have any other questions for me, I'll give you guys a couple more minutes to, leave whatever comments you'd like or ask any questions that you want answered, and I can answer them to the best of your ability. If you're not interested, I could definitely log off now. We'll stop the live stream. Just one last time, be able to just subscribe down to the button down below. Subscribe to JP Football Fanatics. Put a like on this video. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment down below on this video or any other video that you see. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and give me suggestions on what you want me to do for the next videos. I know this is something that I definitely want to continue growing this channel. I think this is something that's, important to me. I think I really want to be able to relay my football fanatics to you guys and be able to share like my opinions on the content of the NFL and get your feedback on them too. So definitely rely on all those things. So subscribe, like, comment. All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for that wonderful comment. It was definitely a much better show. A little bit of technical difficulties, but definitely not bad. We had a pretty good night. Definitely not as good as I was hoping, but it happens. But we're gonna keep growing from this. I'm staying positive. We're growing from this, and we're gonna get better from here. So thank you guys for watching. It was a good night. Hope everybody has a good night, and tell your friends about this channel. That's the only way this channel is gonna grow. So this is your boy James saying peace.